schooled up right here. I can see them. I'm looking at them, waiting on one of them to hit this leprechaun bomber, just like that. There we go. That's it. I know. Leprechaun bomber. I saw him turn on it and smoke this sucker, dude.
What's going on, Salt Strong family? It's Matt and the Yak, and I'm back with a really quick tip for you guys. Now, this is going to be a good one because I feel like this is something that everybody is always looking for at least one point in time in their life. So I've been having some really solid success lately targeting bigger fish, and I just want to share with you how I've been doing it. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, let's start by talking about these bigger fish. Now, these bigger fish, they are hungry, of course, and when they go to eat, they want to eat larger meals less frequently than eating smaller meals more often. So you need to provide a bait profile that's going to match what these bigger fish are looking for. And now, as we get into this seasonal transition, we start to have a lot of bigger bait out in the inshore areas that we like to fish. The mullet are full grown, pinfish are almost the size of dinner plates, and puffer fish are running rampant. And you need to provide a bait profile that can match the larger bait that's out there on the flats. So one of the best ways to do that is by throwing larger baits like the 5-inch Slam Shady Paddletail right here. I do have this rigged on a 1/8 ounce Haas Helix hook. That is the preferred hook that I've been throwing these bait presentations on, and it's actually the exact style of hook that I've caught all of the fish in the footage that you'll see in this video, but that pairing has been working out amazingly for me. Now, with that 5-inch bomber, what that bigger profile does is it gives more vibration in the water. As you can see there, with that larger paddle tail on that back end, that gives off more vibration in the water. So as you're retrieving this, it creates more vibration, more thump, and it has a larger profile, so it is visibly easier for those fish to see. Again, as I said, big fish want big meals, and this 5-inch paddle tail, like the bomber, does a great job of giving these fish that offering that they're looking for. Now, not only is this bait profile size optimal, but it does have a really great action when moving through the water. That tail has a really great thump to it, and it moves very streamlined through the water column, so it looks natural to these fish. With the seasonal transitions that we're getting right now, we often get some heavy winds, and windy days are another perfect time to use the bomber profile, because on windy days, these actually create more vibration in the water column, and they do make an easier target for those fish to find when they're in that feeding pattern. During windy days, there can be a lot of white noise on that water surface from the wind, and using a larger bait profile like this bomber right here does a really great job of standing out amongst all of that noise on a windy day. Now, as I said, the bomber profile is a great option for these type of conditions and to be throwing right now, but I've actually not only been using the Slam Shady bomber like you see right here, but I've also had some really solid success with the Gold Digger bomber, as well as the F.R.E.D bomber and the up-and-coming Alabama Leprechaun bomber. Now, all 4 of these bomber profile sizes I have had some really solid success with. Now, I know 2 of these colors, the Alabama Leprechaun and the F.R.E.D color in the bomber profile, are not available in the tackle shop, but don't fret, they are on their way very soon. And I can tell you, I have caught some very large fish with every single one of these bomber profiles. So that's why I want to tell you when you may look to use each different color in this bomber presentation and under what circumstances. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that now. Okay, let's start with the first, the Slam Shady bomber. That is our classic Slam Shady color, and that is a fantastic presentation. One of the times that I like to use this specifically is first thing in the morning. This does a really great job of standing out in that low light visibility first thing in the morning, but it also does a really great job of resembling that almost bone color that those fish really target first thing in the morning. So if you can't get those fish to really connect with your top topwater lure first thing in the morning, or if they're short striking, it can be great. The Slam Shady Bomber, this color right here can be fantastic to throw as a follow behind to that topwater lure, because chances are once you get subsurface with this bomber that can resemble that color that just really stands out to those fish first thing in the morning, you're much likely to hook up with this bait. Now, another time I like to use this Slam Shady Bomber is when I'm in a clear water condition. During this upcoming transitional period, we'll be getting a lot of good incoming water and tidal flow, and what that means is our waters are going to get much clearer. Now, if you normally fish clear waters, then the Slam Shady Bomber is a perfect option for you all year round. Now, if you do fish in those green, emerald, true clear waters, the Slam Shady is a fantastic option no matter the time of day or the season, because it does a really great job of blending in but yet also standing out in that water clarity. Now, the next bomber profile we will talk about is the Gold Digger Bomber, and I do like to use this, as I said, in the same type of conditions as the Slam Shady Bomber. Those are windy days and situations where I see a lot of bigger bait, so that's very similar to the same situations, but this color profile right here I like to use under different circumstances. This one I like to use when, if it's in the middle of the day and I got some heavy cloud cover and it's looking a little gray outside, I think this is a great option because that gold and almost black in there, it just does a really great job of standing out in that low light visibility in the water column when you have some overhanging cloud cover. Now, if you also have some freshwater runoff, this color option does a really great job as well, because in those darker water situations, this does a really great job of reflecting that light and catching it as it comes through that water column, and this does a really great job of giving those fish an easy target to see in that dirty water. Moving right along, the third option I like to use is the Alabama Leprechaun Bomber. Now, this bomber profile right here, again, is not available in our tackle store yet, but it is on the way as we speak, and I was fortunate enough to get out there with it and test out this prototype, and I can tell you on the first trip, it was absolutely clobbered by an overslot redfish straight out of a school. It was a fantastic eat, and I can tell you that this lure works fantastic. It works amazing, and I'm going to tell you when I like to use this color profile and what application under which you would like to use one as well. So I normally like to use this Alabama Leprechaun profile when I'm fishing clear water grass flats. I do like to use this color when the sun is up and it's in the middle of the day and I'm fishing in what is normally heavy grass flat coverage. And I will often fish this with a slow retrieve, almost as if it's a jerk shad. Now, this green color right here, it has some red flake in it as well as the gold, and it does a really great job of just blending in on those grass flats where those fish are often hanging in that cover waiting on bait to flow by. So, slow rolling this Alabama Leprechaun Bomber through some grass flats is a great way to get big fish to strike, because they will often be laying down in that grass to where they can't be seen, but they can see the bait swimming just above that grass line passing by, and that is when they will come and strike that lure. Now, again, I said this Alabama Leprechaun color does a really great job of standing out in those grass flats, and if I'm covering a large expansive grass flat, I really do like to use this because it blends in, and it also does a great job of standing out with that red and gold flake in there. It does attract the light really well, and it matches the type of forage that those fish are keyed in on when they're in that grass. Now, the last and final bomber presentation that I'm going to tell you about is going to be one of my favorites, and it actually is a little beat up, but this is the F.R.E.D bomber paddletail. This is our 5-inch bomber in the F.R.E.D color profile, and this is absolutely fantastic because it really does a great job of blending in all of those color water conditions. No matter the clarity of water, this pink color profile right here does a great job of standing out in all of them. In clear conditions, this does a great job. In dirty water conditions, this does a great job. In conditions like what I normally fish, where I fish in tannic water situations or in a lot of areas with freshwater runoff, this matches perfectly. So it does blend in for all of those circumstances and the water clarity in which the others was work. This works as a really great medium to be able to progress into all of those and kind of figure out where those fish are more dialed into, whether it be a darker presentation or a lighter one. This is a great middle ground to try and work with. As I said, this is one of my favorites, and that's because it does work really well in the water conditions that I normally fish. I am in the Panhandle Big Bend region here in Florida, and I do fish a lot of marshy creek areas and other Gulf areas that have a lot of freshwater rain runoff. And with that, we get silty conditions and sometimes some tannic water. And this pink color, the F.R.E.D profile, does a great job of standing out in that type of water clarity. So that is one I always look to use when it's been raining, or if I'm really in here in the Big Bend, Panhandle, Gulf region of Florida, all into Alabama. This is a great option to throw. Okay, so I do just want to kind of go ahead and give a brief overview again of all of those profile colors that come in the 5-inch bomber size, and kind of tell you really quick again about when you want to use each one. So again, we do have the Slam Shady Bomber. If you have what is normally clear water conditions, this is what you're going to want to use. Or if you like to use that Paddletail profile first thing in the morning, this does a great job in standing out as well, because it does offer a really easy target for those fish in that early morning low light condition. Second, we have the Gold Digger Bomber. Again, I do like to use this when I have dirtier water conditions, because it does a really great job of standing out in that darker water with that gold flake in there. It does a really good job of reflecting the light and giving those fish an easy target. Third, the Alabama Leprechaun Bomber. Again, I like to use this on grass flats. I like to use this as a search bait. It works really great in that grass cover because it blends in, but it also stands out very well, matching the forage that those fish are normally keyed in on those grass flats. So if you have sunny conditions and you're fishing a grass flat, this is going to be the color that you should probably be reaching for in that circumstance and situation, just like I showed you in the footage. And again, the last color is that F.R.E.D color, which stands for Fooling Redfish Every Day, again in that 5-inch bomber. And I do like to use that when we have tannic water situations like I have here with a lot of freshwater runoff, and it just does a really great job of blending in to all those different types of water clarities. No matter what the color of the water is, this pink does a really good job of matching any of that, and it's a really good middle ground for you to use and try and determine if there is a different color that these fish are keyed in on, whether that be lighter or darker. This serves as a great middle ground. One more thing I would like to add when targeting these bigger fish, something else that is super important is using scent. Scent factor is very big for these big fish. They often tend to feed heavily on their olfactory senses, which means that they are feeding off of scent to find their meals. So if we can help in any way in that, we need to be doing that. And myself, as well as every other member of the Salt Strong team, are now very strong believers in the Dr. Juice exclusive saltwater slam scent. So be sure to be adding that to your baits as well, because that is one of the most important pieces to this puzzle. We have a really quick video on a really easy way to add this to your baits, and it's by adding that to the bag rather than adding it to the lure. We can link that down in the description below, but that's super easy as well. So please don't forget to add that Dr. Juice as well. So that's all of our currently available bomber profile colors. And remember, I do like to use those on windy days, and again right now as we are experiencing this seasonal transition where there is a lot of bait out on the flats and this bait is large. So it is safe to say that this bomber profile is absolutely what you should be looking to throw right now. So I'm hoping that you can get out there and target some of these bigger fish just like I have. If you have any questions for me, or you want me to cover any other things for you, please let me know about that down in the comments section. Or if you have other lures that you like to use to target bigger fish, please let me know about those down in the comments section as well, because I would love to give those a try. If you want to see some more awesome tips like this, or you want discounts on all of your fishing tackle, be sure to head over to saltstrong.com and check us out. And as always, thanks for watching. And if you're new to Salt Strong, just know that we are the #1 online fishing club in America. We actually guarantee to help you find and catch more fish, save money on tackle, make friends while doing it, or it's free. So we hope to see you in the Salt Strong Insider Club soon, and thanks for watching.